So it's basically how to train the trainer. If you're owners and you have trainers, or if you're an owner yourself and doing the training, there are several ways to do it, and there's ways that are very, very effective, and this has worked out great. Do remember that there are really two steps when it comes to training cleaning. One is a process, and the second is the method. When I was out there looking at homes, inspecting homes, as you all say, but actually inspecting the work as the cleaner went, it wasn't the method that was really the problem. If they saw it, they did a very good job of cleaning it. It was the process. They missed it completely. So think of cleaning like a football team. Like the football team's goal is to win. We have one common goal here, and the process and the method will allow us to be winners. We will clean every home perfectly every single time if all of your players have learned the plays. There's a two-step process to making a football team great, and I don't know that much about football, but I do understand this. Their players have to memorize the plays, and then they need to practice the plays as they implement them. They need to carry out the plays, execute the plays. Same thing with your cleaners. They need to learn the process. So just like football players, they need to learn and memorize the process, and then they need to go out in those homes and execute that process, and you need to watch them, and every time they do that play wrong, you need to correct that play right on the spot, and then they'll repeat it again.
I need to convince each and one of you why it's important to train. I do not want this webinar to be like many of the things that you hear at conventions, reading magazines, buy books to do, that never gets implemented. It is important to your company that every one of the people in your company knows how to clean a house with quality and efficiency, and that is the first thing that happens in your company, the number one priority. Why? Because if you train, you will automatically receive higher productivity from the day they begin, because you've taught them the skills they need to do their job. You're also going to train, and this is huge in your attrition problem, your turnover problem with your internal clients or your cleaner, is you want to bring about change in the attitudes of the cleaners, the other cleaners towards this new cleaner, also towards you as management, because you take the time to train. So you care enough about the people who are working with you right now that you're not going to make them have to clean and try and train and keep up their speed and get all their houses done too. You're going to give up what you have that day, and you're going to teach this new person, so that, or you are big enough to have a person dedicated to training in your company, and you're willing to give up your bottom line income and profit and your new car for yourself to hire that field manager or that trainer, and really field manager, so that that cleaner in the field who's already working for you doesn't have all this extra stress and strain. They also, when you take this person and give it to them, they know they're fully trained, and they aren't going to feel like they have to do that, so they're automatically going to like this person a lot more. They aren't adding stress to their lives. Instead, they're probably reducing it because they probably needed another person, and now they have two people rather than one, or three people rather than two, and they don't have to work quite so hard during the day.
So is there a difference between training and retraining? Absolutely. I can tell you this, retraining is something my company only ever did once, my third year in the business, when I trained everybody on the speed cleaning system of training, which has now turned into core training, and I never retrained again. I did do observations, brought people treats, watched them clean. My field managers watched lots of people clean after they were trained, but we never retrained. We did habitual reinforcement, habit reinforcement. Another huge difference between training a new bright-eyed, bushy-tailed employee, even if they're a current cleaner, and your current staff is, you don't have to determine whether or not that new employee is hostile. If they're hostile, get them out of there. Don't ever even start them. But if it's a current employee and they're getting 5 rankings most of the time, and they're pretty fast, and you're going to tell them you're going to teach them a new way to clean, they might be a little hostile. And you've got to do a read on that. Some people like that just embellish and embrace a new system because they're so good already but they know if they can be better and it can be easier, hey, bring it on, because they care about the quality of their work, right? And they care about their speed, right? They're already the best and the fastest. Why wouldn't they want to be better and faster? I guarantee you, most of them have that attitude if you bring it to them right. But that's why you need to determine, are they going to be hostile or are they going to be very receptive? I determine that normally in one-on-ones. I rarely have a kickoff meeting for my training. I have a wrap-up meeting at the end where I give out certificates. They're the easy ones to work with. But you've got to train them all. If it's good, if it's the right process, then nobody gets to not use it, because why wouldn't everybody in your company need to do it the very best way? It does not make any sense. Again, listen to this non-receptive employee. You might want to show them some videos on other cleaners who have been trained, who back up and go, boy, it's great having another set of hands. Oh my gosh, I wish I wouldn't have been so stubborn about learning the process in the first place, because it really is easier.
About 8 months.
About 8 months, okay? Did we have some changes this week?
We did, and they're fantastic.
So tell me some of the things that are different from what you've been doing over the last 8 months.
Oh, some of the things that are different is just going into the houses and doing things differently. With the kitchens, I love the new way that we're doing the kitchens.
Can you specifically tell me how it's different from the old way?
The microfibers, or the microfiber cloth, just using the disinfectant actually on the surfaces instead of getting everything wet, the cloth wet. I love that. And it's actually getting things really clean. I can go back over with my hand and it's very clean. I like that.
Good. And you used to use the microfibers, but you would only get the cloth damp and not use the disinfectant and spray it directly on the surface. Is that correct?
Right, yeah. And we got the cloth actually wet too, and it was pretty wet. But I have everything I need right there with me, and no going back, no wasted steps. It's done much more efficient and quickly. And
Do you think it's had an impact on your quality at all?
I think the quality's better.
Because?
But you can only train one person, one area at a time. Where do you train? Do not make the dreadful mistake of training in a one-time or first-time in-home. Part of the value of being out there and retraining your current crews is to show them where they're missing things and why you're retraining them, why they need a system, a process, because they're missing things. But if you train them in a first time in or one time or somebody else's home that's not their own, you can't say, see, we're doing this because you've been missing this all along, because they're going to say it's not my home. The most important thing, I really mean this, about retraining is to retrain your current staff in their repeat clients' homes.
My feather duster got switch pockets, actually.
Now, for your sake, lots of people don't, I don't know if we talked about this yesterday, but lots of people don't have back pockets anymore, so we're putting our feather dusters behind this, okay? Now, hold on a second, what else, do you have more than one thing in your hand? Very good.
She's teaching us. Don't think of it as being nervous.
Oh no, okay,
No.
she's teaching us.
Oh yeah, and the thing I want you to remember through all of this is it takes 17 times to create a habit.
I remember.
That's a lot. So don't be upset with yourself until we're to number 18. Then you need to concentrate
And
more.
you're not going to have
Okay.
to number. You're going to do it
Yeah.
one time.
Well, we can get to 18 by the time we get to the end of the room.
Okay.
So, okay.
Okay, here I go. I'm so nervous right now.
You're doing so good.
I'm so nervous.
But now you have to go back. What'd you
Okay.
forget? Where do we go? We go from top to...
Top to bottom?
To bottom.
Oh, I thought it was top and then,
No, she did the top and she did... Because otherwise you're going to walk twice around the room.
okay.
But now what starts is the habit reinforcement portion of your training, of your job, of your leadership, of your keeping quality in place. But there's never a need to retrain that person again. But what you need to do is go out 2 days later, pop in and say, hi, how's it going? I left you a treat in the car. Just wanted to say thank you for what great trainees you were the other day. Chat with them. Do not let them stop cleaning. Have them continue cleaning and watch them. You don't have to check their work to see whether or not they're missing anything like you used to do. If you watch their process and they're following the process, they're getting everything, you know you're fine. In 5 minutes you can leave.